And so he's challenged the Housing Authority, he challenged me, and we are trying very hard. I am very excited to be inviting you back to our opening of our Parental Supportive Housing, but we're so glad you're joining us here today. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much, Preston, for those kind words. And as I look around, I see friends, and I see people of our valley who care. And you inspire me this afternoon. What we do here today is dedicate ourselves to those in our society that desperately need housing. And by the dedication, we are recommitting ourselves to the notion that everyone ought to have a chance. And Preston, your comments about the importance of this housing dedication and what it really represents. Over 4,000 applicants. I mean, does that show that there is need, or does that show that there is need? We've gone through a difficult time in our nation here in recent years. This Great Recession has made those in the lowest rung of our economic ladder struggling to just make it every day. I was reminded of that a couple of weeks ago. A good friend of mine, who I kind of got the city and the county to kind of work together. Tom Richardson developed the housing plan for the homeless. Tom's a real understated person. And, we all know him. It's going on the family. It's hard to get the city and the county to agree on the time of day, let alone other more important things. But we love them both. And that housing plan was really a product of a lot of hard work. And it's a 10-year plan. And Tom and I went out and had dinner a couple of weeks ago. And afterwards, it was at one of those rainy Saturday night, and we drove around. Some of you know I live downtown and have for 30 years. And I'm a big proponent of regentrification. And we know it's all there, but it's different when you really drive around, as we did for a half an hour at about 10:30 at night, looking for all the homeless. It's a very, very, very sobering feeling when you see under the bridge, under the Burlington Northern tracks, the shelters there, people making fires. When you go over to the freeway and you see the folks over there, when you go over to the creamery and across there, and there's children living in the houses, and you think to yourself, in the richest country in the world, we just, went over to the Salvation Army, that effort, it really, I think, should give us all cause to ponder. Even though we're dedicating this wonderful benefit of housing here this afternoon, how we can do a better job. Tom says, the trouble is, he says, is this, we're talking about the small little dwellings across from the Salvation Army. And he says, but he says, that's not permanent housing. And I said, yeah, I know. And you think about all the other challenges that we face in our community in this valley. And so that's been on my mind now for 2 weeks since I did that. And to see the fruits of all of your labor here, Preston, to look at the partnerships, to look at the leveraging of federal dollars with state and local dollars, to look at the fact that this provides opportunities for those who are most in need. And it's a project that we can hopefully multiply in ways that will provide meaningful benefits to families like yours, who who are all a part of our valley and a part of our nation. So, I also tease Preston, who may or may not remember this. An old friend of mine, I've got this Arctic blonde here. I see Jim back there. Some people know him. I didn't used to have this Arctic blonde. But when Dennis Gay Brown on the Housing Authority, and Dennis designed the logo. And I still think it's still on your card, right? If you ever looked at I always thought it was very clever, the logo on the Housing Authority card. Because if you look at it, it looks like it's 3 arrows. And what it is, it's a house that goes up, and then it's a house that goes sideways, and then it's a house that goes up again. And the thought then was up, in, and out. Up, in, and out. And we're still struggling to make that happen. We're still struggling to make that happen. And Lord knows that was a few years ago when Dennis was there. But each of us have a role to play. And what I'm really here to say is thank you. I'm here to say thank you to each and every one of you for playing your roles. Because we need to understand that we're all in this together. We are all in this together. Some of us talk about the challenges we face between the tale of two cities. You've heard me say that before. Heard the previous mayor say that before. He got it from me. He never told anybody about that. Now, it's an old book that some of us read, but that area that's north of Shaw and that area that's south of Shaw. We know what we're talking about when we talk about the tale of two cities. And we need to endeavor to bring those two communities closer and create more opportunities. And so we all have a role to play. And housing for those families at the lower rung of the economic ladder is so critical. It is so critical, not just to the men and women, but to the children. The children. I mean, when we went under that bridge 2 weeks ago Saturday and saw these combination of tents and people making fires. I thought I had gone through a time warp. One of those movies you saw about the Great Depression, where people sat around in vacant lots and under shelter to make a fire. And so, for those of us, for most of us here this afternoon, we have a lot to be thankful for. And we all have something we can give back. And every day I try, and I know every day you try. And so, let us, in this dedication ceremony this afternoon, we dedicate ourselves to doing the best we can. Not just for ourselves and our families, but for our valley and for our nation. Amen. Because that's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for allowing me to serve and to be your contributor.
I'm asking Congressman Costa to cut the ribbon with Christy, Tanisha. Anyone who spoke or received a plaque to please come forward. I would like Eileen, Allison, and Becky to come forward to be part of the ribbon cutting. I should invite Janine, right? She's been to so many of these and never been in any of the pictures. I was kind of shocked. She's a teacher out in Carruthers, and all of a sudden she came walking out. I was like, what are you doing here? So we're going to come over here and cut the ribbon? Of course, I agree. You think you're getting out of the ribbon cutting?